Man, and I love it. So you and I were talking last week, and it was like, hey, let's just jump on. Let's do another podcast episode. You are no stranger to the Loan
Mhm.
Officer Leadership Podcast, and just always celebrating wins. And I thought, look, you're closing 21 loans this month. And
Mhm.
let's talk about what you're doing to do that. I know you've been a part of the Alliance, and I know you've been a part of the community for a long time. But Brittany, Bob's, it is so great to have you here out of the, what is it, the Maryland area, right?
Mhm.
Closing
Yeah.
21 loans this month. Not too bad. Not a bad month.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, I know we were talking, you're like, oh, it's okay. I'm like, you're doing great. You're leading the
It's never
way. And
enough.
so,
I'm always like I could do better. That's my problem in life. It's a
what?
blessing
No,
and a
no, no.
curse.
I think it's your superpower. So look, there's a difference between, and this is a real conversation. Shame is the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but I can always do better is really just challenging yourself. It's like,
Yeah.
how do I do more, but do it in a cool way? It's not
Yes.
like become a slave to the business, but I think ambition, I think drive, I think it's a superpower.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it
I appreciate
absolutely
that.
is. Hey, so let's talk about it. So what are some of the things you're doing? I thought let's talk to our audience and let's hear what's Brittany doing this year to continue in the 20 unit a month club. So let's
Mhm.
talk about some of the key things. Well, hey, you know what? Let's do this. What are the top three things you feel like you are doing right now that are helping you stay with a high volume and high
Mm.
loans?
So there's a few things.
Yeah.
One is staying on top of the real estate agents
Okay.
by calling them, by
Yes.
texting them, by emailing them, social media them, like all the things. So that's always been the thing that got me the most business and steady business is
Yeah.
real estate agents. And so it's important for me every single week. I want them to hear from me. And if I don't have the time to make a call to them for whatever reason, they're going to get a text from me.
Yeah.
And usually the text is like with a video because I want them to hear my voice still and see my face, even if I can't call them. So it's either text or call usually every single week.
Couple of questions
And
for you.
yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Hey, so how many agents are you working with now? And we call them a Focus 40. So they're actively referring you.
Hmm.
So let's say that they've referred you a lead and you've closed a loan in 90 days, that you would say,
Hmm.
these are my active true partners. How many do you think you
Mm,
have?
my good one. Yeah. Okay. And you said in 3 months,
Yeah.
90
I
days.
mean,
Okay.
the ones that are actively referring you, how many you have?
I would say, gosh, 50
Five
maybe.
zero. Yeah.
Hmm.
So how many leads a month are you getting? About 100, 80 to 100?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Approximately. That's my goal is 100 plus.
Yeah.
And I'm landing right now between 80 and 100 is typical.
Hey, isn't it amazing? We talked about this in Alliance, that rule of two, you just can't get away from it. It's like
Hmm.
if you got 50 agents actively referring you, the number's about 100 leads.
Hmm.
And out of that, you're going to close about 25%. And
Hmm.
your numbers are just almost identical up or down 10% of the rule of two. And we talk about that, but it's amazing. It's like
Yeah.
they stay true. It's not rocket science.
No, they do. And the other thing is like I have, and you actually taught me this. There's a lot of agents, you call them the onesie twosies.
Yeah.
So like the onesie twosies, I have a lot of those too.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
thing that you taught me is I was trying to make calls to them every single week and I was just so overwhelmed because I was like, how am I going to call? It was absurd. It would be
Yeah.
hours, 2 days a week, hours, not like 2 hours. It would be like 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours, 2 days a week. And I remember you said to me, which was just like genius, is you only need to call them once a month. They
That's
don't
it.
even have that much business anyway. And I
Hmm.
realized that's true. And honestly, I felt like it was making them uncomfortable because they didn't have anyone to send to me. And they'd be like,
That's
ooh.
so good.
But it just helped me so much because a huge chunk of my business is not just the big guys that I have, but it's also these onesie twosies. Like
Hmm.
it's just I'll get one deal a year, two deals
Yeah.
a year, but
Yeah.
it's amazing because they don't ask me for money. They don't ask me to do open houses with them. They don't ask for any of those things. They usually don't have a lot of lenders hunting them down. You talked about the whales and the tunas, and those guys they're hard to keep. It's like
Yeah.
trying to date somebody in the NFL. There's women like you got to beat them off with bats all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, because lenders are just drooling at their feet. It's like, good grief, you can't keep up.
Yeah.
So having a good plan when
Yeah.
working with these agents that you're only going to get one deal from a year, it's very valuable to keep those relationships, but you just can't break your back,
There you go.
and spend so much time trying to chase them around. You just can't.
Well, and hey, Brittany, that what it goes back to, it's having a plan. When you got a
Hmm.
process, you realize, okay,
Hmm.
once a month is enough. And that's
Hmm.
something where we call the onesie twosies the unqualified, but don't sleep on them because you'll
Hmm.
close about a deal for every 20 that you have a month.
Hmm.
And so I love that. Okay, so staying top of mind with your realtor partners. What would you say is number two that's helping you the most?
I would say the other thing that's been really helpful to me is working with past clients now,
Hmm.
which another thing that was like my goal this year when we
Yeah.
created our goal session. It
Yeah.
was really important for me because I had only to a fault only been working towards getting business from real estate agents. I totally neglected my past clients for
Mm.
quite some time. And so now I'm making my calls, and not only do I call my agents and I do it efficiently because now I'm not spending hours chasing these agents that only give me one or two deals, a year.
Right.
I've made that much more efficient. So now it gives me time to call my past clients one day a week for 2 hours. And I'm
Mm.
getting actually a lot of traction from that, even if it's not an immediate lead, because
Right.
they're different than real estate agents. They don't have somebody that's like, tomorrow I'm going to call you with two people. They just happen upon talking to somebody. But the thing is, the with the past clients, I've gotten a lot of my friends looking the end of this year. Oh, you know what? I was talking to somebody else. You're right. I was talking to my coworker the other day and they said something. Let me call them and tell them. And so I'm getting a lot of traction with like future building my pipeline, looking ahead. And they're not a lot of immediates, but it's people saying, oh, you know what? You're right. Later this year, so and so is going to buy a house, or
Yeah.
my mother in law says she's going to move here next year. Like, I'll tell her about you now. Like, so that is helping. I can already see the impact of how that's helping my business. So I would
Yeah.
say that's probably my next big goal
Yeah.
that helps
Hey,
me.
well, how many past clients you have? Because we talked about this, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
earlier in the year,
Mm-hmm.
your greatest opportunity is your database. So, and you have
Mm-hmm.
how many in there, I think? What was it? What was the number?
800.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. And so, and you know what you're really doing is you're just farming. So
Mm-hmm.
hunting today are the agents who have deals, they have clients right now, but then you're farming and planting these seeds, which you'll see a harvest later this year.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see it. And so I love it. So number one, staying top of mind with your realtor partners. Hey, and
Mm-hmm.
I love too that you do a video like a bomb bomb video text. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not
Mm-hmm.
just text, but you're adding that in. Number two is focusing on past clients. What would you say your number three thing is?
My CRM.
Talk to me about that.
So, and I can tell so fast when I'm falling off with it. It's
Yeah,
it's kind of comical how crazy, how big of an impact it is. So, what I do is when I get a lead, I immediately put them in my CRM.
yeah,
Immediately. Like it doesn't matter what time of day it is. I don't care. I don't want to forget. It's 9 o'clock on Saturday. It's going in my CRM immediately. And then I set tasks for follow up to follow up with the leads. And I can't tell you how much business I have gotten that most lenders would forget about these deals, would forget about these people, like a random investor client that wants to refi. I
yeah.
literally had a guy email me yesterday about it. And I have been all over this guy. And it's so simple. It's so quick. It's free. You just put him in the CRM. You just have to follow up with him. What are you
Yeah,
doing with this? So
yeah,
then I've gotten so much conversion from doing that, literally just from following up with people and staying on top of them. Things I do not, I look in my CRM and I'm like,
who is that?
who is
Yeah,
this
who's
person?
that?
What?
Yeah, yeah,
But you close deals from doing that. You
yeah.
close deals because otherwise that guy would have gone to another lender. He would have gone
Mm,
on Zillow or talked to his friend or whatever. But he's coming back to me because I occasionally sprinkle in on him like, hey, are you still looking? Did you find a house? Like,
Yeah.
need to refi out of it. That's just an example of, what I do. But with the CRM, I'm methodical about putting people in, following up with them. And I set them my follow-ups for Monday. So like on Mondays is when I have my follow-up with people. I like in my CRM, I set a task. Monday, I'm going to
Okay.
follow up with them 3 months from now, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
it's
so
been
wait,
very
when
helpful.
so talk about your follow up on that. That's I mean,
Hmm.
and 100% agree. So your CRM and follow up have been a game changer.
Oh
So
yeah.
you get a new lead that comes in. How do you know when to task them? Is it an automatic follow up the next day, or is it the conversation that drives the task? Like, give us some
Hmm.
examples of what tasks are happening. Why
Hmm.
I got a lead on Saturday, put it in the CRM, it automatically moves to a Monday follow up.
So, so great question. It depends on the client and the
Yeah,
conversation with them. So if
got
I
it.
have somebody that, some things I automate too. I have like
Yeah.
automatic drip. If it's an automatic thing, sure, I'll put them on a drip. If it's just a like, hey, talk to me, you're on a drip. But if it's somebody that I talk to, that's, let's say, for instance, they called me and they said, hey, I'm shopping mortgage lenders. I'm trying to find a good rate. What are you working with today? I'll be like, this is where I am today, whatever, my little sales pitch.
Right.
And then the next day I have a task because I want
Mm-hmm.
them now and I want to stay in front of them now. Like check in, and then I'll check in and be like, hi, did you hear from any other lenders? And then I
Mm-hmm.
set a task for the next day and I will stay all over them until they say, I'm going with another lender. And then I'll say, okay, sure. But then I still put them in my CRM and the rate that they're getting, and I keep it open ended. And I remember you talking about keeping things open ended with clients, even when they say they're going with somebody else.
Right.
I keep it open ended and I say, you change your mind, I'm here, or I'll keep watching rates too. And when the time comes to refinance, you'll hear from me. And if you need something, let me know. So I still track people even when they tell me I'm going with somebody else. So it depends. So if it's an immediate conversation, they're under contract tomorrow, I'm talking to them. If
Mm-hmm.
it's somebody that's like, I just started looking, I'm trying to get a feel for my budget, but I'm not looking till the fall, then I'll probably set a task for Monday. I'll reply to them. I'll check in with them Monday and be like, hey, did you still want to chat?
Mm-hmm.
Or 2 months from now, if they respond now and they're like, yeah, but you know what? I don't want to do anything until the summer, then I'll set a task for May because I want to get them before they say they're ready,
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
they change their minds. But so it really just depends on what the conversation is. If it's like an immediate follow up or if it's a long term. And it's the people that are the long term are the ones that lenders forget about.
Hmm.
They just
Hey, and
forget.
that's where all the gold's at, man. The money's in the follow up.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh yeah.
really, oh, that's huge. Okay. Hey, listen. So three things: stay top of mind with your agent partners and
Mm-hmm.
relationships, focusing on past clients and CRM and follow up. Now, I got another question for you. Tell me the three things you've had to stop doing to maintain your
Mm-hmm.
volume in the 20s.
Stop being
Because
a
hey,
paper
we talked about
pusher.
this a whole lot. So this was
Yes.
like
Yes,
late
we
last
have.
year. It was like all roads led to Brittany, and so I
Uh-huh.
want our listeners to hear, like, we've been on this journey with you, and I've had the privilege of being on the journey. I mean, it's so fun. You're doing a remarkable business, and you're a mom, and you've got some beautiful kids and a family.
Thank
Like,
you.
so it's a this is something that you're building a legacy. And so not only is it what you're doing, but what are some of the things, top three things you had
Mm.
to stop doing, and how did you stop doing them?
Mm. Great question. So most important is staying out of, don't paper push, meaning I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to get in the file.
Mm-hmm.
And I want so badly, trust me, to get in the file. Like
Yeah.
it's like this like need. It's like the itch I can't scratch. I'm like, I would just want to get in there and look at it. But when I stepped away from that, when I realized, and you helped me do this because it's just a constant push of wanting
Yeah.
to be involved.
Yeah.
But when I really got out of the files, it freed up so much time for me to sell.
Yeah.
I just have to get out of it. I have to stay out of it. Unless it's like something bad, like there's an explosion and it's like bad. Then I'm like, okay, let me jump in there and look. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I just trust people. I'm like, just do it. Just do what you need to do. What do you think? And you actually helped me with that because that was one of your questions.
Hey,
Having
because
somebody.
you came from an ops background, which it's
Mm-hmm.
hard when
Mm-hmm.
when you start operationally and then you move into sales, it's like, but I know how to do it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
faster than everybody else and I can
Mm-hmm.
just get it done. But it doesn't serve you well when it talks, you can push paper or you can get more deals. So,
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly right. And so you helped me. Having somebody like you in my life has helped me so much because if you were not telling me this is for your business, this is for your own good,
mm,
you naturally want to be like, it's for my own good to make sure my loan gets done properly and that it's a
yeah,
customer service experience. But it's not.
yeah.
That's not the things can be solved, things can be fixed problem wise, but what I can't fix is getting my time back to sell.
Mm, that's so good. So well, and you know what it goes back to? If it someone's saying, "Well, I can't because they can't do it," then that's a bigger problem. The problem is you just don't
Mm-hmm.
have the right who. Because when you
Mm-hmm.
got a
Mm-hmm.
right person, then you can trust them to move the process forward. And sometimes it's person and sometimes it's process. And when we empower our people to do what they're paid to do, they actually oftentimes can do it better than we can. And so I think that's huge. So don't paper push, number one. So you got
Mm-mm.
out of that. What's number
Mm-hmm.
two?
Number two is, I would say, gosh, there's a few things. I think number two is not working with real estate agents that are jerks,
Mm,
that waste my time,
mm.
that
Don't
are
work with
like,
jerks.
don't work with jerks. Goodness. And because, it'll
That's
break you
funny.
down.
Hey,
It'll
that's
break down
funny.
your soul,
Well,
truly.
you know what it is? It goes back to the days when we didn't close many. It's like I
Yes.
remember fighting for every deal, and it's like I will
Mm-hmm.
grit my teeth and bear it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
realize in this season of our careers, it's like, no, I'm not gritting
No.
nothing.
Yes.
I heard I heard somebody in the alliance. I don't know if that was in your call or somebody else's, but it was a couple weeks ago. And he said I was making my calls, and the agent actually said, "Kiss my ring," and I was like, "What?" He said, "Should I go after him?" And I was like, "Brother, I'm not kissing anybody's ring." Like he was the
No.
godfather of.
Stop it. That's ridiculous. That's
Well,
ridiculous.
no, but
No.
we've all I know, like
Yes,
kiss my ring.
yes.
And
I've had that. I've had people, they haven't said those words, but that's how they act. And it's like,
man,
okay.
I was
Like,
like, it goes back to rule number one. Don't work with jerks. Rule number two, refer back to rule number one. We don't work with jerks. I was like, kiss my ring. Unless you like that kind of a language to you, awesome. Go after him. If you don't, there's
right.
1,000 more. So,
Well, the thing, it's
kiss my
like,
ring.
it seems so ridiculous, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, what's the big deal? Like, just
Right.
deal with the guy and like get
Right.
what you're getting business. But the thing is, like, when you're treated badly,
Yeah.
like that, it will break you down. And you
Yeah.
can't, and like even it's like subconscious. You're just like, God,
Mhm.
I'm a doormat. I suck. Like blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you can't sell well
Yeah.
when you literally are constantly feeling like you're getting beaten down. It's just not,
Mhm.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And plus it just, that spills over into your family. Like it's just, ugh, there's so many, and it wastes your time. I had some
Mhm.
agents that would literally be like, oh, like I would know they would send a deal to somebody else. The same person they sent to me, if there was an issue or whatever,
Yeah.
they would automatically talk to another lender. And that's really disrespectful and it's a waste of my time. It's like,
Mhm.
if you're just going to waste my time and send me a lead and
Yeah.
then just push somebody else on them, then we don't need to do business because you just wasted my time. So it's a waste of time and it's a waste of energy, honestly. So that's a huge thing that I think putting that line in the sand has helped me a lot.
That's a big one. Well, and here's the great thing. We're building our own businesses and we get to
Mm-hmm.
choose how our business is run and who we work with. So love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number three, what's the third thing you would say you've stopped doing that's helping you stay above 20 units a month?
I have stopped letting people dictate my time as far
Mm,
as in a few different ways. And again, you helped me with this. A lot of these things you helped me with, which is great. Um, I had no boundaries before,
mm,
no boundaries. It would be 6 p.m., we'd be in the middle of dinner, my phone would ring, I'd be like, I gotta pick that up.
yeah,
That's not healthy for my family. That's not healthy for me. That again will break you down. That will burn you out. And you just can't sustain that. Um, and not
Hey,
only
how
that,
did you do that though? So here you are, because
mhm,
you're a great service person. You want to help
mhm.
people. You want to have a great customer experience. You get a call at 7 o'clock. You're in the middle of dinner. 6 o'clock. You're in the middle of dinner. How are you handling that now?
Right now I just let it ring, or I put my phone on silent in the other room. That's actually better because
Yeah,
it gives me anxiety if I see it.
yeah,
But I just put it on silent in the other room. And then
mhm,
if I see, like, let's say somebody's writing an offer, I'll be like, I'll just text and be like,
yeah,
I will call you at, and I'll pick a time that works. And it's not
yeah,
going to be in the next 10 minutes, likely.
yeah,
And so the thing is, like, the world's not going to burn down. I'm going to do what I need to do. I will get you the loan, but it's not going to, the world will not implode because I don't respond to you in 2 minutes. Like, it's just
yeah.
not. No one's dying. Like,
Mhm.
it's not an emergency. No one's bleeding out. The other thing is during the day as well, creating boundaries, because I would let people in the middle of my selling, I would let my LOA call me, the processor call me, an agent call me, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get this. I gotta
Yeah,
get this.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
something bad's happening. No, it's not. You set your time. I have 2 hours. This is what I'm doing for 2 hours.
Mm,
You get on the call stars, or you have to be intentional on this is what I'm doing for these 2 hours. I care about nothing else.
mm.
Nothing. Like it will get figured out unless somebody's literally in a closing and then I send it to my LOA still. I'm like, figure it out. Like, you got
Yeah,
to figure it out. I'm doing
yeah.
something. But setting the boundaries,
Mm,
not letting people walk all over me has saved so much time to me because I'm not constantly in and out of things because that wastes a ton of time and a lot of energy. And it also keeps me focused and keeps me selling. So
mm.
I have my time. This is when I'm selling. I have my time. This is my personal time with my
Yeah,
family. And
yeah.
just that's helped me actually so I've done more business by creating boundaries. Whereas before, I honestly would have thought that having no boundaries, I would have so much more business. That's not true at all. I actually have more business by creating the boundary.
Man, I love that. Hey, and that's profound. Do you know what it does? It keeps you proactive instead of reactive. And we're in an
Mm-hmm.
environment, an industry that's intoxicated with the reactive. And
Mm-hmm.
that is something that's really funny. Most problems can be solved in 2 hours without you being in the middle of it. You know, it's like
Yes.
sometimes like I'll have a phone call. It's like, hey, I need your help on this. And I'll intentionally wait 2 hours, or I might even be in a 2 hour block of time. And it's always amazing to me. And it's not to be rude, it's to challenge them. Like if it's burning, they'll find a
Mm-hmm.
solution. And then
Mm-hmm.
you go to call them back and they're like, no, 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 don't worry about it. I already found the solution. I already found the
Yeah.
answer. We already worked it
Yeah.
out. And what I began to realize is they get a lot done in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they come to us is because we've trained them to just come to me real quick and we'll figure it out. And now we have to untrain them that you are empowered, you are equipped, you are more than capable to find solutions. And if I focus on this, that's the greatest thing our team can do. So I love that.
Yes, it's about empowering people.
Yes.
And I will say one thing to tie all of this up
Yeah.
quickly is
Give us,
like
yeah, give us some closing thoughts on all this.
I think honestly having an outlet like
Hmm.
mortgage marketing animals, boot camp, that keeps you on track
Hmm.
because we all can get off track. And I
Yeah.
told this to somebody the other day. I was like, I am not a machine. I am a person. I get
Mm.
tired and I get knocked down just like everybody else. Like, trust me, I need somebody. I need to have like that sounding board of
Yeah.
like, you got to make your calls. You got to do this. You can't let people walk all over you. So, like, the things that you have done for me and said to me have been so impactful for me to stay on track. Otherwise, I could easily erase my boundaries, let that agent be a whole jerk to me, like, not make my calls because I'm tired today. But you have to have like that outside energy that's pushing you to
Yeah.
just keep on track,
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, and listen, and that's a great thank you for that. And you're such a great example of just, man, you're already going to be successful. My goal is to help you get there faster with less headaches. Hey, for somebody who's considering the alliance, what would you tell them? And I mean, you just said that, but just would you recommend that to somebody? Because
Mhm.
I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Oh, yeah. I think any place in your business, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like you could be just starting out, you could be a big producer. I think any place in your business, the
Mm,
core principles are all the same. It's
yeah.
all the same.
Yeah.
If you're new in your business, you should be making your calls. If you're established in
Seasoned.
your
Yeah.
business, you
Yeah.
should be making your calls. The
Right.
foundation is all the same. We're not reinventing the wheel here. Like
Mm,
the things work that work. And so I think anybody, no matter what stage of their business, could have huge rewards from being involved in it because it's
right.
just a way of staying on track and reminding people of what they need to do because anyone can get off track. Anyone can forget what they're supposed to do if you don't have somebody holding you accountable. It's like 3 months from now, I could be closing 5 deals. And then I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, I wasn't making my calls. It will eventually catch up to you. It's like not going to the gym. Like
Mm,
you'll notice, but it's not going to be immediate.
yeah.
It'll catch up. So I think it's a really good opportunity for everybody. And I think everybody needs it truly.
Yeah. Well, Nick, hey, it goes back to this. We run faster when we run together. And I
Mm-hmm.
think about this, half of what coaching is, it's not about the 22 tactics. It's about really the accountability of just showing up. It's like hey, I think about this, like a rocket ship when it's taking off spends 80% of its fuel to break through the atmosphere. But once it's through the atmosphere, then it's just little bursts of air that keep it on the right trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's really what coaching is about. So, hey, and if somebody's listening, go to loanofficersuccess.com, loanofficersuccess.com, put in your name, email, phone number, and we'll get with you, see if the alliance is a good fit for you. So, hey, Brittany, thank you. Just love it. And we're going to continue to, keep checking in because I love the insights. And for our listeners and our community, what an inspiration. Stay top of
Oh,
mind
thank
with your
you.
agents. Focus on your past clients. Do your CRM and follow up. Don't paper push. Don't work with jerks and stop letting others dictate your time. Great
Mm-hmm.
principles that'll help you do even more. So, Brittany, thank you, my dear friend, and appreciate you having you on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Hey, and if you're listening today and you want to know more about the Alliance, we've got a new group starting up. Go to loanofficersuccess.com, loanofficersuccess.com. Would love, check it out. See if we can help you. I'm confident we can. These are things that Brittany has been talking about that will help you get a fast start, especially in the Alliance. Loanofficersuccess.com, loanofficersuccess.com. Remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.